Hello, my name is Daniel Larson.
This is a message to Quandale Dingle. Please stop messaging me. Go to hell.
Daniel, I've seen him behind you. No, there's no one behind me.
What's your name on you?
It's Daniel Larson.
Daniel Larson.
Yes, it is true that I got arrested this past week at the Denver International Airport.
We'll call Daniel Larson, 23M3592. Good morning. Can you hear us, Mr. Larson?
Yes, I can.
Charges will be pressed. I will sue the entire U.S. government and Supreme Court.
Back down now, Putin, or there will be mass devastation.
Daniel Larson might be one of the most documented people alive on Earth today. He's made dozens of different TikTok accounts, YouTube channels, and Twitter accounts where he posts every second of every day.
I just woke up.
Just one of his dozens of TikTok accounts had over 300,000 followers and 7 million likes before it was banned. There are hundreds of pages of forum posts about Daniel, an active subreddit with nearly 80,000 members, and even a full-fledged dedicated wiki with staff and contributors who meticulously catalog every detail about Daniel's life. This wiki is so detailed that I can tell you with citations that on a random day, July 4th, 2022, Daniel had $10 in his bank account, collected $0.01 from his music sales, and told his fans that he would get the maximum sentence if he turned himself in.
You know, I think she's jealous of my popularity.
I am too, dude.
know.
You're famous.
Yeah.
So why do all these people care about him so much? And most importantly, why does Daniel's wiki say that they are in code silver? Daniel is dead or will no longer be with us for an extended period of time. This is what I ultimately want to get to the bottom of. How did Daniel get to where he is today? This is by no means the definitive account of all things Daniel Larson. That would probably be a 1,000-hour video, but I have court documents and evidence from multiple cases showing how Daniel's spiral from beloved niche internet micro-celebrity to code silver happened. And let me tell you, Daniel's story is about as clean as his phone camera lens.
Hello everyone, this is Daniel Larson. I think we did it. We are so close to winning the election this year. Let's keep up the great work. I think we have it.
But before we get into that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success. Skip the grocery store's prep work and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan plus, veggie, and more. Skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Personally, I like Factor because it's one less thing I have to worry about every day, and I have the peace of mind knowing there's good food ready for me whenever I need it.
Yeah, this is actually really good.
So head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code Jabroni50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code Jabroni50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring the video. Now let's get right back to the story. There's a lot about Daniel Larson that you can't learn from United States versus Larson, like the fact that he's engaged to be married to famous singer-songwriter Grace VanderWaal, the fact that Daniel himself is an internationally famous recording artist with multiple hit songs, the fact that he has a 4.0 GPA while studying business entertainment at UCLA, and he's even eyeing a very important job in the near future, which he has a good chance of winning.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson. I am planning on running for president in the future. If you think that that's a good idea, please click the thumbs up, give me a like, give me a follow, and give me a comment. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Except, none of that stuff is actually true. But it's all stuff that Daniel more or less believes, and his audience, for the most part, goes along with it and goads him on. Hell, most of the time they're the ones giving Daniel these ideas. When Daniel started posting regularly on TikTok in 2020, his content consisted of pretty much whatever he felt like posting.
This message is to all the hackers. I declare fucking war. Let's fight. Meet me at Starbucks.
As soon as Daniel started to gain a small fan base, he announced that he would be taking his career to the logical next step.
I'm going to be starting my presidential campaign.
Daniel's fans immediately supported his presidential campaign, spamming videos all over TikTok with comments saying Larson for president. They started referring to Daniel as Mr. President, and there's fan accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers calling him the president. But it wasn't all fun and games for the new leader of the free world. Soon after Daniel's following started to grow in the summer of 2020, internal strife in America threatened Daniel's regime. His fans told him the George Floyd riots were actually about him, and he seems to have believed it.
This is 30 seconds of silence for the people who have passed away in the Daniel Larson riots. Okay.
His fans then told him that he should support George Floyd and BLM.
This is for George Floyd. Rest in peace. Black Lives Matter.
And herein lies the problem. Danny's propensity to believe anything anybody tells him as long as it pumps up his delusions of grandeur or fuels his paranoia.
The police, the FBI, and the U.S. Secret Service are now trying to gaslight me for money and my career.
The same thing that was making Danny famous was also destroying his life. Which brings us back to Grace Vanderwall. Daniel had been obsessed with Grace ever since he saw her perform on America's Got Talent in 2016. At the time, Daniel was 17 and Grace was 12. This led some people in Daniel's audience to suspect him of being a pedophile.
Hello everyone, this is Daniel Larson. I love CP.
But Daniel would literally just say whatever people told him to.
I just wanted to say happy birthday to Mike Hunt.
So if the internet was going to out Daniel for being a pedo, more solid evidence would be needed. In November, that evidence was found. Flexburger, originally a fan of Daniel's, was now acting as his manager. But as Flexburger learned more about Daniel, he found some disturbing details that he felt the world needed to know. Flexburger leaked Daniel's Pinterest account so that all his fans could see it. The Pinterest board had maps of the age of consent in each state and pictures and videos of little girls. Daniel would respond by admitting the Pinterest was his.
Hello everyone. Sorry for the Pinterest account. It is mine. It's been over a couple years since I even had that account. I no longer have access to it. Unfortunately, the media kind of blew it up out of proportion, and I decided it's best if I tell the truth. The truth matters.
But then he would also deny it.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson. There is now video evidence claiming from Roach Records that they were in charge of the Pinterest.
This led a lot of people to start digging into Daniel's past. How does somebody become so obviously mentally ill as to believe they're going to be the president of the United States and a famous recording artist off of TikTok comments alone, only to be outed as an obsessive pedophile? Well, it turns out Daniel didn't exactly have a happy childhood.
The Tennyson Center for Children has become one of the Rocky Mountain region's leading treatment centers for emotionally and crisis-affected children, particularly those suffering from abuse and neglect.
Good boy. When I first came here, I actually was really nervous.
That's 14-year-old Danny, who came from an extremely neglectful home. When his grandmother got word of Danny's situation, she moved here from California to be his guardian.
Wonderful.
So he wouldn't end up in a foster home. Danny still lived at the center for a year and a half, but now lives with his grandma, continuing to go to school at Tennyson and receive treatment.
When he came to Tennyson almost 3 years ago, he was very angry and confused and feeling very uncertain about his life and where he belonged and what was going to happen.
But looking at Danny now, you will see a smiling, laughing young boy with the world ahead of him.
This is wonderful today.
Danny and his grandmother have both seen huge improvements.
I learned to, when I'm in school, to do school and never quit, because if you quit, you won't know what to do. And if someone's trying to get you upset, don't let them make you feel bad about yourself. Just be good and make yourself feel happy.
Daniel was severely abused as a child, which led to his parents losing custody of him. He was bounced around between different foster homes before landing at the Tennyson Center, where, at least from the video, it looked like he was doing pretty well. While at the Tennyson Center, Daniel was assigned a reading buddy, an adult who would read books with Daniel. Bob Proctor became something of a mentor to Daniel and would stay in contact even after Dan left the Tennyson Center. As long as Daniel had his grandmother to help guide him and look after him, he probably had a good shot at living something resembling a normal life. He liked acting and basketball, and posted photos showing that he had won the basketball tournament in his local Special Olympics. But in July of 2019, Daniel's grandmother's battle with cancer came to an end.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson. I just wanted to say rest in peace to Nancy Scheimer, my grandmother. Thank you for supporting me with my career. See you someday in heaven.
This is when Bob became Daniel's legal guardian and started paying to help launch Daniel's music career, giving us classics like Gang Life.
I am the king, hand me my crown. I gotta smile and you gotta frown.
These songs, along with Daniel's willingness to say pretty much anything anyone asked him to, made him the perfect, most popular Lolcow TikTok had ever seen.
This is a message for Jojo Siwa. You better be good at running. Something big is about to happen.
But the last thing someone with mental illnesses as severe as Daniel needs is unfettered access to the internet. After leaking Daniel's pedophilic Pinterest in November, Daniel's manager turned troll Flexburger continued to use his access to Daniel to convince him to self-sabotage.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Daniel Larson. There is just now a text over social media that came up under Flexburger. Please do not look at it. It's a picture of my ding-a-ling. For some reason, this guy has changed the text message in the entire thing to mean something different because of the accusations about me. Do not believe it. We have Interscope's security team, cybersecurity team, working on everything right now to clear everything. We're going to get it taken down off the media. Please stay tuned.
Flexburger would later explain in a Reddit AMA, I went by the name Josh as his manager. I told him that Flexburger was this evil guy hacking all of his accounts exposing him. He had no clue that it was me. When he was making all of those videos with the headset on talking about me, I was on the phone with him. He had no clue that Flexburger was me the whole time. Pretty funny stuff. This trolling would escalate as Flexburger and others continued to encourage Daniel to do increasingly wild things on stream. They often told him to do things because Grace Vanderwall wanted him to do them, or they would even pretend to be Grace herself and message Daniel.
I just want to say something real quick. If you know the singer Grace Vanderwall from America's Got Talent, I'm also a singer-songwriter. We're going to be dating this year, and we would like the message to be spread.
Other times they told him they were a record label and had a huge record deal for Daniel. In May, Flexburger told Daniel that he had a huge audition for him, and if the record executives liked it, he might even be able to collaborate with Grace Vanderwall. The only catch, Flexburger told him, was that he had to do the audition naked. So Daniel went live on TikTok and exposed himself to over 500 viewers. This is now known as the infamous May 6th incident. Unsurprisingly to no one but Daniel, his TikTok account was immediately banned and he did not get a big record deal or a collaboration with Grace Vanderwall.
Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Larson. I just wanted to say sorry to the allegations and to the Grammys for everything that's been happening. Please stay tuned for more information on upcoming events.
After this, Daniel really started to spiral. He made new TikTok accounts and told his audience that he was still collabing with Grace. He was obsessively commenting on her posts hundreds of times, and even got mad and started hitting himself and crying out of frustration that he couldn't get into contact with her, a trend that would unfortunately continue.
I'm currently under attack. You need to let me on the team now.
Despite this, Daniel continued to be convinced to get naked and do other lewd things on video, like the toothbrush incident, where he stuck a toothbrush in the wrong end of his digestive tract and then brushed his teeth with it. After this, Daniel would tell people that he was an adult film star, and honestly, I think he earned that title. This was also when Daniel's relationship with Bob started to deteriorate. Daniel began to blame Bob for everything wrong in his life, and despite Bob's best efforts to help Daniel, it was too much for one man to handle. So Daniel moved into a group home with a caretaker, Jonas. It did not take very long for Daniel to come up with conspiracy theories about what was going on in the house.
I'm going to now ask my care provider if I could get macaroni and cheese, if that's all we have in this house. This tastes like cow piss. Literal cow piss. I want to know who the fuck put jalapenos in this. Holy f***, my mouth is on fire. Holy fuck. I know why this tastes different. It's got something in it that's like sour as well. Well, that makes a lot of sense. We don't have the f***ing milk, so the asshole care provider didn't do the f***ing milk. The only thing they could have done was water, but that's not the taste, but whatever. Like, I'm going to be straight up serious. Why does the mac and cheese taste a lot like ranch, but with like a tangy taste? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like honey mustard? The mac and cheese tastes more of like honey mustard, which is really weird. And if you look, bingo.
After getting in constant fights, tearing up Jonas's house, and finally leaving, Daniel would end up in his worst situation yet: homeless. The beginning of 2022 was pretty bleak for Daniel. He posted a video saying, "The Daniel Larson manipulation has to stop. He is now homeless because of it. Please stop trying to blame Daniel Larson for his past living situation and because he was in disability housing services." Daniel was still getting help from Bob, but Daniel would get mad at him, start arguments, and start filming Bob at every opportunity. Often, Daniel would harass Bob to the point that Bob had to call the police.
I just don't know where we even are on this right now.
I know where we are, Daniel.
And you're saying that you're done, you cut ties.
Please get your things.
You're saying that you're done and cut ties.
Please get your things. Turn off the phone. Turn off the phone.
Like, no, I need to know. Like,
I'm done. Get out.
wow.
And everybody heard it. And you recorded it. So now it's official. Please get out.
What the fuck have I done?
I need some help with an individual that's gotten into my car. I know him, but he won't get out of my car. And I've asked him multiple times, and I need help.
Due to Daniel's homeless status, the state of Colorado assigned him a case manager, Andrew.
Okay, so apparently there's a new rule that my case manager is also putting into place. I now have to show proof that I'm talking to Grace. That is apparently for my safety.
Andrew tried to help Daniel get housing, but by May, Daniel was already going live with stream titles like, "Daniel Larson might have an idea to take down Andrew."
I don't want the same case manager. I want a different case manager. I want to be able to focus on my career. Andrew doesn't care if I am homeless or not. He's been violating contracts, and he says that I have to break the contract if I want to have housing. So in that case, then he doesn't care about my future or my life. He's a bad case manager.
You've probably picked up on this already, but it bears mentioning that Daniel isn't exactly a reliable narrator. Some have described him as a pathological liar. He ends up lashing out at everyone who gets close to him to actually try to help him. Bob, Jonas, Andrew, a never-ending list of caseworkers, homeless shelter volunteers, public defenders, law enforcement. He claims they all stole his money, scammed him, hate him, the works.
Alrighty, so I am thinking on building a civil case against Bob, and the fact that he won't give me my music copyright codes.
But throughout this time, there's also a revolving door of managers who are helping Daniel. These managers do everything from actually try to help him to troll him into oblivion. So his mistrust of people close to him isn't exactly unwarranted. Daniel's raging against his case manager Andrew would escalate into Daniel hitting himself, screaming the N-word, and threatening to kill Andrew.
I'm coming for you, Andrew. I'm gonna kill you because of this. If the police find me, I'm gonna make sure you rot in f***ing jail. I'm gonna kill you. I'm coming after you.
The very next day, Daniel wandered into the middle of a large pro-choice protest. The march ended in a park with an open mic for protesters to speak their minds, and Daniel seized this golden opportunity.
So I have autism, a very minor case of autism. I'm very well spoken, but I never used to be able to come out in crowds like this and be able to talk like this and be myself. So I'm actually out here right now because I'm in a current lawsuit, court case, because my life is at risk. And I'm going to explain why that happened. I'm going to explain exactly why that happened. So, because of my autism, my grandmother passed away of cancer in 2019. And I wanted to be a singer. I was always performing when I was younger, not at a professional level. I've always wanted to also run for politics and become president of the United States. So, that so-called management, which I later found out was fake, they ended up getting me to go onto TikTok Live and go completely nude on live. And at the time, there was 3,000 people in that live. And it went worldwide viral. And it kind of ruined my career because at the time I was really inspired by a singer named Grace Vanderwall. And at the time I was around 18 years old. And I wanted to collaborate musically. Of course, I don't know if that's in my future anymore. I'm fighting for a chance now. But basically the reason on why I went nude on social media, I was told by this fake management that I was to go nude. It was like an audition for a porn, like a regular adult porn shoot that was going to help my career blow up. They said it would give me tons of views and it would help me out.
As 2022 went on, Daniel would make little bits of money from stream donations and fans sending him money, but the longer he stayed homeless, the more violent he got. On October 16th, a case was opened up against him for destruction of private property. But in typical Daniel fashion, he just didn't show up to court. And this is just one example. Daniel started to rack up multiple small cases like this, where he wouldn't show up to court, which caused the judges in these cases to issue warrants for his arrest. Daniel's paranoid tendencies, combined with these multiple warrants, made him start to think that people were after him 24/7.
Okay, my location is fully doxxed. My fans are doxing my location. I'm going to need donations for me to get an Uber out of the area. There's been a person in a white pickup truck following me around all day long. And also there was a guy in the white pickup truck that was the guy that came up to me in person when I had to do the video.
Despite this, Bob was still trying to help Daniel. Daniel was staying at a motel and trolls contacted Daniel pretending to be the motel staff. The trolls told Daniel that if he didn't leave the motel, they would kill him, prompting Daniel to have his worst meltdown yet in Bob's car.
Car! Get out of my car, Daniel! No! Get the hell out of my car! God damn! Get out of my car! No! Get out of my Get out of my car.
It's not my fault! It's not my fault! The motel just threatened to kill me!
Get out of my car.
Stop! The motel threatened to kill me! I'm not going to, I'm bleeding!
Yeah, you're bleeding because you're hitting yourself.
But you don't...
I've got to get help. I've got to get help. I've got to call the police.
No, I'm bleeding.
I've got to call the police. Yeah, you've got to get out of my car.
The motel threatened to kill me. The motel threatened to kill me.
And you're trying to kill me.
No, you're not helping me. You're not helping.
You're hitting me.
But you're not helping me. The motel threatened to kill me.
In the wake of the December 10th incident, Bob bought Daniel a plane ticket to Los Angeles. It was never explained why Bob did this, but it's possible Daniel had some extended relatives in California, since his grandmother had moved from there years back to take care of him. An alternate but popular fan theory at the time was that Bob wanted to send Daniel to California so that he could be involuntarily committed into a mental institution under California's 5150 law. Whatever the reason, Daniel arrived in Los Angeles in January 2023. Some fans bought Daniel tickets to Disneyland, and soon after, it was discovered that he had contracted scabies from not bathing or changing his clothes for months.
Oh, so I was just given a pill to get rid of these scabies all over me. It was nice knowing you, friends. Now you're all dead.
By February, Daniel had grown bored of Los Angeles and decided to make his way to the #1 city that everyone gets rich in, Las Vegas. Instead of becoming rich and famous, Daniel tried to sleep in the casino bathrooms and got banned from multiple properties throughout the city.
No, you won't.
Yo, get the fuck up off the toilet.
No, you fucking won't. No, you fucking won't. You aren't gonna do shit.
Open the door. Whoa, you better calm down. You get stupid now? Let's go right now.
No.
Walk. Walk. Let's go.
Don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I didn't do anything.
For some reason during this time, Daniel decided it was a good moment to address the Pinterest that Flexburger had exposed back in November of 2020.
Okay, I know this is going to sound very, very crazy, and I mean the Pinterest, well, actually, before I say that, the fans, the Reddit is going to go nuts over this, and I'm probably going to get reported and all of this crazy stuff, but before we even talk about reporting me to the police or FBI or anything like that, I need to explain something real quick about this. Yes, the Pinterest was mine. And yes, I actually followed all of those pictures and stuff of, like, children.
Daniel then determined that since Vegas wasn't working out, he needed to get to New York City. He took buses through Arizona and into Texas, finally ending up in Houston. Once in Houston, one of Daniel's managers bought him a plane ticket to Newark, New Jersey, right across the river from New York City. Once in New York, Daniel met up with a similar infamous TikTok legend, World of T-Shirts.
New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
After this momentous occasion, Daniel's plan was to head down to Florida. He bought a bus ticket with the last little bit of money he had, but he showed up to the bus stop too late. At this point, Daniel was completely out of money and relied once again on his only real friend to bail him out. Bob ended up buying Daniel a plane ticket back to Colorado. Back in Colorado, Daniel's delusions of being a celebrity had finally come true, but not for the reasons he wanted. Pretty much anywhere he went in the state, people recognized him.
I'm security.
No, I'm serious. Why are you taking pictures of this man? Leave him alone.
I'm security. He's a pedophile.
How do you do that?
Do you want me to show you?
What?
Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, show me.
John Summit.
Police are on their way.
John
I'm
Summit.
going to need to ask you to
Daniel,
leave.
John Summit told me to ask you if you've showered anytime recently.
Okay, I'm going to need to ask you guys to leave.
You still smell like poop. Hey, don't charge me, Daniel.
Hey! You want to search? Tell them to bring it.
Okay, I'm on the phone with
Get
the
out
fucking
now!
police. You have a warrant for your fucking arrest.
Oh! Holy shit.
Call the police out. Call the police out.
All right.
You guys are lying. You fucking liar. Just because I'm fucking famous, bitch. Don't ever take a goddamn
Daniel started doing Cameo and continued begging for donations on stream to make money, and in his mind, the reason people ran him out of random restaurants was because he was an ultra famous celebrity without enough security. In reality, he rarely paid for the food he would eat, and if fans found him, they would often inform restaurant managers that he was a known pedophile that was wanted by the police, all of which was true. So Daniel decided that he would get more security, and on July 2nd had a horrifying idea.
So, I am thinking about buying a dog. Should I do that before the apartment? Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we could get a homeless Daniel Larson and his dog arc. I do make enough. Sorry, Bob, I'm going to jail. But I also got a dog, so watch over my dog. That'll be interesting. Actually, I do know how to take care of myself. Like I said, donate and we won't have an issue.
Daniel was already planning on using the dog to manipulate his viewers into donating more money, and also planned on dumping it off on Bob before he even had it. It's ironic that Daniel would expect continued help from Bob because he had repeatedly threatened to kill Bob that week. Fans in Daniel's chat told him he couldn't even take care of himself, and any dog he adopted would be neglected at best. Fans also worried that Daniel's increasingly violent tendencies would be directed towards his dog if he had one. But Daniel disagreed, and somehow convinced the Longmont Humane Society to let him adopt the dog named Music.
Hey everyone, meet my new pal, Music. Look at the camera. Hey, look at the camera.
Multiple users from the Daniel Larson subreddit and some Discord servers sprung into action, developing plans to rescue this dog from Daniel. Daniel said on stream that he had fed the dog a puppuccino from Starbucks and was thinking about giving her nachos after commenters in Daniel's stream said the dog looked hungry and dehydrated. On July 11th, just 2 days after Daniel adopted the dog, Reddit user Goated Piston was able to find Daniel in Denver. They started talking to Daniel and waited for a moment when he was distracted, and then grabbed Music and ran off. Once Music was safely back home with Goated Piston, they posted a video of Music drinking water, now from an appropriately sized water bowl. Daniel responded in his typical measured, logical way. He got in a fist fight in a nearby Walmart parking lot and then went inside and started destroying the store.
I got my dog now.
Just relax for me, okay?
I got my dog now. And then I got attacked in the parking lot.
Alright, just relax. Just relax. We're gonna get figured out what's going on and then we can go from there, okay? Here, I don't wanna hurt your arm, so until we get figured out, we're just detaining you, alright?
Okay.
You just relax.
What's your name, Bob?
It's Daniel.
Daniel?
Daniel.
Daniel, what's your last name?
Larson,
Larson?
So take a couple breaths for us. The only way we're going to be able to figure out what's going on is if you can calm down and tell us, all right?
Daniel, we got the paramedics coming to check on you, okay? All right, what's going on today?
So I just bought a dog, adopted a dog 2 days ago, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I got a massive internet fan base.
Okay.
And I just had some fan walk up to me over at the Good Times. I was sitting outside, and just walked up on me.
Okay.
I was giving my dog water because I was going to be staying at the Motel 6. They don't have a room yet.
Okay.
I was going to be staying at the Motel 6. I am currently homeless.
Okay.
so I don't have a lot of money.
Sure.
I pretty much spent all my money on the dog because I was going to use it as a guard dog for my popularity.
Okay.
And this person, who I guess has a background in, because she told me, drove up in the car, told me that she was a veterinarian, and just randomly grabbed my dog from me on leash, and just immediately ran to the car while I was still sitting down. I grabbed my stuff. By the time I got over to the car, just drove off.
Okay.
With the dog.
After being released by EMTs, Daniel went live to tell his side of the story.
Until you guys stop harassing, I'm ending my goddamn career. My mentor, Bob, my entire family is now being targeted too because of you guys, you little pieces of shit. Okay? So I'm done. I'm ending my career. Fuck the record label. Fuck my entertainment manager. And fuck every security company and fuck all police officers. I'm gonna go drop a bomb. Bob, I need you to go live right now. I need you to make a social media account and put it out there right now that I am not lying, or I will kill you as well. I am done, and I will not stop until the White House is blown up. So I just called 911, and I just literally just screamed, I have a bomb, on the 911 number, and randomly hung up in hopes to get this situation heard and to get my family the rights that they deserve and the security and protection.
After making several bomb threats and threats to kill people, EMTs show up again and start questioning Daniel, and the stream ends.
Right. I am a singer-songwriter of Denver, Colorado, currently homeless, and I am known by most police officers, most hospitals, most people, I should say.
The EMTs end up taking Daniel to a mental hospital where he stayed for about 8 days. When he got out, Daniel had some choice words for the nation.
Grace. Grace is a f***ing hater, and I will always hate her now because of what she did. And yes, I will bomb the White House. I will f***ing bomb the White House. I will f***ing bomb every single police station in the entire U.S.
That night, Daniel went live punching himself and screaming at Grace Vanderwall. Daniel was still homeless and had been working with a Colorado nonprofit called DDRC to get placed into housing. There was only one problem.
For me to get back into housing at DDRC, they will have to take my phone. All my sales, all my music will crash. My career will be over.
Daniel then got frustrated and used his new favorite negotiating tactic on the DDRC. He said he was going to bomb them. The organization had to take this seriously and put their facility in lockdown for the rest of the day. By the end of the summer, Daniel had at least 5 ongoing court cases for trespassing, destruction of property, and theft, and he decided to cut his hair like this and show up to court looking like that. Somehow, after all the threats and abuse, Bob was still helping Daniel by giving him rides. On August 31st, Daniel once again refused to get out of Bob's car.
So, are we going to get dinner, or are you taking me back to the motel and I'm just going to not have anything for dinner? And I'm not going to eat today at all. And I guess I'll starve tonight. So what is it?
Get out.
I'm not going to do it. Because I had my phone...
Get the f***ing out of my car!
Okay, don't f***ing grab me.
You want me to break your f***ing arm?
If you break my arm...
Then get the f*** out of my car!
Okay, then let go of me, f***er! Ow!
Get away from my car!
Holy f***ing hell! You ran over me! F***er! F***er! You f***ing ran over me, f***er!
Despite Daniel's claims, Bob did not run him over with the car, and Daniel starts destroying the motel room and smashing his head into various objects. By this point in the summer of 2023, the fans and viewers of Daniel had pretty much completely turned against him. Daniel's repeated abuse and manipulation against Bob and anyone who tried to help him had soured Daniel's relationship with his fans. On top of this, more evidence surfaced that Daniel was an actual pedophile. A new Pinterest was leaked in September that showed Daniel had made yet another one filled with images of underage girls. Daniel made a community post saying that the FBI was investigating him, and for once, he wasn't lying. 2024. The FBI reached out to Daniel as they were now actively investigating him, and Daniel had some choice words for them.
The FBI can go ahead and press legal charges on me. I will just kill their ass. I'm being chased by a group of about 10 teenagers that go to CU University. The same, or one of the groups that attacked me a couple days ago.
In addition to the feds, Daniel also had a growing list of cases with state and county courts for his various offenses, like this appearance in Jefferson County Court where Daniel's attorney stated that the crux of Daniel's issues was his housing instability and asked for leniency from the judge.
Authorize transfer of probation to Boulder to be arranged through Jeff Cove Probation. I'll order that you report to probation no later than by tomorrow, Friday, March 22nd. But ideally today, you'll check in with them, talk to them about your desire to transfer probation to Boulder and follow their directions, okay? Mainly stay in touch with them. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much.
2 days after this court appearance, Daniel threatened to blow up the FBI headquarters. I think there might be a little bit more wrong with this guy than just housing instability. On April 6th, Daniel got chased off from a Buffalo Wild Wings and went live in what would become one of his most infamous rage streams ever.
You, Bob! You! I will bomb your house till the day you fucking die! Bomb you! Bomb you! Bomb you! Bomb you! Kill you! Kill you! Kill you!
Later on Instagram, a commenter asked the real Grace Vanderwall about Daniel, and she actually answered. Finally, Daniel's lifelong dream of getting the real Grace Vanderwall to acknowledge him had happened. She said, "If you're trying to be a musician, being a fan of a pedo that's haunted my life and continues to twist the blade with harassment isn't really a great road to success." That's a pretty glowing review if you ask me. The feds had finally seen enough. On April 25th, a federal warrant is issued for Daniel. The FBI begins looking for him so they can place him under arrest. He's wanted for 7 felony counts: threatening to bomb a Colorado courthouse, threatening to bomb the DDRC, threatening to bomb the White House, threatening to bomb a state government building in Colorado, threatening to bomb Colorado University, threatening to kill the FBI agent who had reached out to him, and threatening to bomb the FBI headquarters. If Daniel is found guilty of all these charges and receives the maximum sentence, he could face 65 years in prison. Just 5 days later, on April 30th, FBI agents found Daniel in Boulder, Colorado, and arrested him. The streams went silent. The YouTube community posts stopped. Daniel wasn't going to get off easy again. This was for real. The next week on May 10th, Daniel and his attorney enter a plea of not guilty in federal court. Daniel's attorney also asked that he be let out on bail as the trial was going on. The judge replied in a written statement, weighing the factors set out in the Bail Reform Act, I find the following. The defendant is charged with multiple counts resulting from threats to bomb public places, including a Colorado courthouse, the University of Colorado campus, a nonprofit center in Lakewood, Colorado, and the White House. He also threatened an FBI agent and threatened to bomb the FBI headquarters. These threats were widely transmitted publicly via the internet, usually on videos via apps such as TikTok or YouTube. Although it is not clear whether Mr. Larson intended to actually act on his threats, or whether he had either the means or ability to act on those threats, a threat to bomb a public building or courthouse or university campus causes significant public harm. People are terrorized by such threats, and it usually prompts a significant law enforcement response, as certain of the threats in this case did. At least with respect to the nonprofit center, it had to be evacuated and its operations were adversely affected for hours. It was represented by the United States that Mr. Larson has been contacted repeatedly by the FBI and that he has admitted to making these threats. He was admonished by the FBI not to make additional threats, and yet he ignored this counsel and the conduct recurred. In addition, it was represented by the United States that Mr. Larson's conduct appears to be escalating, including recent statements to the effect that he has been to jail and learned how to make a bomb. Mr. Larson has 4 prior warrants for failure to appear, and he has also had his probation revoked in a number of state court matters. He was on state court probation in 2 separate cases during the commission of the alleged instant offense. The state court has ordered him to complete a mental health evaluation, which he has failed to do. Based on these facts, I conclude by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions of release will reasonably assure the safety of the community, or that the defendant will appear at trial as required. Daniel was not getting out of jail before his trial. 2 weeks later, on the 23rd, both the prosecution and the defense asked the judge to send Daniel for a psychiatric evaluation to see if he was mentally fit to stand trial. Their joint motion to the court in part reads, based on the information contained in the pretrial services report, his interactions with others in this case, and his interactions with employees of the detention center, the government and the undersigned believe that there is reasonable cause to believe Mr. Larson may presently be suffering from a mental disease or defect, rendering him mentally incompetent to the extent that he is unable to understand the nature and consequences of the proceedings against him or to assist properly in his defense. The judge granted this motion and ordered that Daniel take a psychiatric evaluation. Daniel failed this evaluation and the court found him incompetent to proceed with the case. The upcoming hearing was vacated, but that didn't mean that Daniel was off the hook. During his commitment, the government will have Daniel on meds and off social media in an attempt to get his mental state in a good enough place that the trial can continue. He'll also likely be required to attend therapy and other mental health services while in prison. This is not the same as being found not guilty by reason of insanity. Daniel is still completely responsible for his actions. But that's not the last we've heard of Daniel. In September, Daniel called his current manager, Clark, from prison.
Why am I just sitting here? They either need to get me transferred or, at this point, give me time served and get me out. Because threats, it's not like I acted on them. I was homeless and I was demanding help. So where is the actual issue there? There isn't.
You're right. They're just, they took advantage of I really don't understand either. Has McDougall even tried to talk to you since then? Or McDougal?
No, he hasn't. And he also told me, he promised me that Grace and I would be having the wedding.
Well,
he's promised me stuff now that is just not even happening. And then he was trying to accuse me of things that it's like there's absolutely zero evidence of. Apparently Bob is all pissed off about what's going on with Grace. He's like, okay, so we know that Grace is involved. Why not helping? Why is she not getting you out? She's a millionaire. She should be able to just, get you right out and get you on the record deal. Why is she not helping? He's pissed off. When are things going to progress and actually get better? I don't see it happening anytime soon.
As of right now, Clark is the only person we know of outside of prison who has contact with Daniel. There are a lot of fans who think the end of Daniel Larson narrative is overblown and that threats aren't the same as actions and charges aren't the same as sentences. But this is not some county or state court that's going to give him another slap on the wrist. This is the federal government. Federal prosecutors have about a 95% conviction rate, depending on how you read the stats. They would never have brought charges against him if they didn't think it was a sure thing. For crying out loud, he threatened to kill the FBI agent that called him. It's not likely that he'll get the full 65-year sentence, but Daniel probably won't be out on the streets again for a long time. I think Flexburger might have said it best in his Reddit AMA when asked, how do you see the Daniel Larson story ending? How do you want it to end? And he said, jail is the ideal ending. If you liked this video, you'll probably like my video on how Kick's Predator problem is getting worse. Huge shout out to the Patreon supporters who get to see the main channel videos early without all the censorship and ads that YouTube necessitates. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay weird, internet. See you next time. Peace.